Good afternoon. It is June 26th. It's a Saturday, and it's going to be a little bit of a bright afternoon after a couple of days of rain. I am back here in the reading nook with 3 parcels. I've already opened 1, 2 more to go, and of course, a nice hot cup of tea. These parcels all arrived today. Again, after a bit of a dry spell when it comes to delivery of parcels, so nice to have these. So I'm going to get on to the next one, which is the second to arrive today. So let's give this. Here we go. Well, we can't see what it is, but let's just slide this. Oh, it's 2 things, so it's going to require a double unboxing. So the first thing I know is this has come from lulu.com. So the first thing to come out of this parcel is the excellent travelling volume. This is number 13, and it is a fanzine of M.A.R's World of Tékumel. And this is the first fanzine in this series to be published on Lulu. It's gone through basically a number of different publishers, or printers I should say. It's always been done by the same publisher, and that is James Maliszewski, and it is dedicated to one particular setting, one particular world, and that is Tékumel. The setting for the role-playing game M.A.R, Petal Throne, and also Bethorn, and it is the first role-playing game to be published with a setting back in 1975. It is that old and it predates it as well, and this is a fanzine dedicated to that version, which was published by TSR again in 1975. It's about the 3rd role-playing game they published, 3rd or 2nd, along with Boot Hill. And essentially every issue comes with additions in terms of background and sorcery and artifacts and monsters and demons and classes and races. We have a discussion of Naksai Sorcery. I have no idea what that is, I have to be honest, because part of the thing is that essentially much of this fanzine is also has come out of the authors and editors' own campaign, a long-running campaign. It's going on for 5 years, and has been exploring different parts of the setting. So they initially started off the camp in the city of Isakatis, the city of roofs, in Soliano, part of the 5 empires. And now it's gone to the far south, basically a colony, and they've been doing things there. And we go on to essentially, we look at an expanded character type in the setting, the magic user. Basically gives options for that character. And then we have a discussion of basically a figure out of Solian's Tékumel's religious history. Basically going to try the Shiringagai, Queen of Heavens and of Tékumel. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But again, that's one of the issues with Tékumel. It has its own language. It is famed for essentially having not 1 but 5 constructed languages. Professor M.A.R, who created the setting, was a linguist, and when you play, you do learn some of the language, and you can learn a whole lot more if you really want to. So what else we've got in here? Basically a description of the great goddess and her temple, with very nice illustrations alongside it. Before we go on to patrons, and these are NPCs who basically, obviously like in any other role-playing game, patrons who can give your player characters jobs to do. And what's great about I mean 13 issues, and this is something that the previous issues have visited and given further patrons. And these really help bring the game alive. They give you an NPC through which the GM can interact with the players. They can learn more about him or her and the world and so on through the tasks they are being given. So you've got 6 patrons in here, and what's great is essentially each one you have name, thumbnail, portrait, full stats, basically a description of what's going on, and then 4 options down below of what's actually going on. And in this, the author James Maliszewski is being influenced by Traveller, the old book 76 Patrons, which would have the similar, wouldn't have the stats for the NPC, but would have description of the NPC, a task they wanted undertaken or a situation, and then 4, 5, or 6 different options as to what was really going on. And essentially, we go on to poisons, antidotes, and narcotics. For Tékumel, it's a sophisticated world, and whilst it does like its bloodshed, the use of poisons, antidotes, and narcotics is not unknown. And then, interestingly, from a different author, Rob Smith, we have puppeteer clans that basically specialise in puppeteering, and essentially what you're thinking there is presenting the epics of the age through puppets and other performances. That's interesting. And it's actually it's not a case of essentially puppets. We think them marionettes with their basically the wooden cross things and the strings and so on. What you've got here is basically simulacra of wood, metal, bone, and other materials animated through other plane and magic. So these are magical puppeteers. And again, that's quite interesting. And there are other people essentially who not every character would be in this clan would be capable of being a puppet master, but they might be a producer, part of the crew, a musician, set designer, craftsman, that sort of thing. So, and you think automatically what you've got there is an instant player character group. Slot the player characters into those roles, and away you go. You can tell stories about visiting the houses of the rich and the famous and the high standing. And lastly, we have basically what we've got in here. The Epic of Hruga, essentially, Hruga is a great hero, as you can tell by one of his mighty deeds there. And that's interesting. Basically, you can see what a sword on Tékumel looks like. They're not straight pieces of metal, slightly curved. They are ornate. They're designed to do not just cut and hack and thrust, but that essentially they can snag and snare and catch and so on. And the weapons are designed to do that. And the users are quite heavily trained in each of these little features, basically to make the best use of them. So this is an epic, part of the Epic of Hruga, a famous hero of the past, written by David A. Lemieux. And last we have an encounter by Mikhail Tumanen called Hanging on the Ropes. So I've been getting this fanzine since the first issue, and I've been talking about it, and I've been reviewing it, and this will definitely be reviewed in the next fanzine focus, so watch for that come the end of August. That will be reviewed on the bank holiday, because I always make it the last one to review, because I always look forward to writing about it. But essentially, this isn't official content, but it's content you can still add to your Tékumel game, and you can still enjoy. It is generally written for M.A.R, the Petal Throne, the 1975 version of the rules, which you can buy from the Tékumel Foundation, and is available on drive-through-rpg.com, but easily adaptable to other role-playing systems. So yeah, if you've not seen this before, if you're a fan of Tékumel, you should be getting this, because it really expands essentially a world that you love, and it showcases sort of like the authors and editors' love as well for the setting. And again, because it takes a lot, it's a lot of effort to put out a fanzine, and to get to 13 issues is no little feat. And everyone has been sort of like really, generally there's always been something good in there to enjoy and make use of. So that's the Excellent Travelling Volume, issue number 13, published by James Maliszewski, and available through lulu.com. So I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, then I do take the time to read and respond to those. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, basically click the subscribe button, and I will appear with another parcel, another book, nice hot cup of tea, and 10 minutes of your time talking about a game that has just arrived and I'm having a look at for the first time. Thanks again for watching, I do appreciate it, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.